Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hello and welcome to Today We Learn number 25.
Number 25.
I know.
25 is a centennial year, right? Isn't that a...
it's a quarter centennial.
It's a quarter centennial as far as... Yeah, that's what I meant. Quarter as far as like a... What is that called?
If we do 75 more of these, then we'll be at our centennial.
Our quarterly reviews are up.
Yes, there we go. The numbers are in.
The numbers are in. Up top, too, I want to thank everybody for the support, as we do every week. 2 weeks ago, the episode with Joel Stein reached the iTunes Top 300 list, and we reached 134 on that Top 300 comedy podcast. So then the episode with Ryan Sickler last week reached, I believe, 219 on Top Comedy Podcasts on iTunes as well. So we want to thank you guys for that. And again, if you haven't yet, if you can give us a good 5-star review, write a comment or whatever, tell your friends to subscribe and help us keep...
We've had a taste of the big time.
Yeah,
we're hungry for more.
We're so hungry for more, guys. And
nothing would taste better than hitting 133.
130. My roommate Dave's got a joke where he's seen a billboard for a haunted house in Wisconsin, and it said, listed, it's like top 31, on the list of the top 31 haunted houses, and he's like, hey guy, we know what number you are.
Yeah, exactly.
A funny joke. I slaughtered it, but Dave Waite's a very funny guy. We should have him on the podcast eventually. Look him up. He's a funny roommate of mine. He's a stand-up comedian. He tours all over. Anyways.
But today we have Danny Lobell on the podcast. You might know him from the Modern Philosophers podcast.
It's a great podcast.
Stand-up comic. Really funny guy.
Yeah,
He's a lot of fun to have on the show.
He's been on NPR. He's got a really cool chicken story on NPR, so listen to that.
So Google chicken story.
Yeah, Google chicken story on NPR.
But first, before we get to this awesome episode, we'd like to thank T-Fury. T-Fury.com is the sponsor of today's episode. T-Fury is your original pop culture t-shirt destination, selling unique designs every day since 2008, and you can snag their t-shirts for only 24 hours, starting at midnight.
Starting at midnight, not the show.
No.
Starting at 12
they didn't.
a.m.
I mean, I bet they wish they started at midnight, the show, but...
Yeah.
You know.
But they just started a t-shirt company.
Exactly. So, say you're missing a t-shirt from the past and you want to get it again, just head to the T-Fury Gallery where you can buy some of the old designs that are still in print, vote on others to come back from the dead, and every 2 to 4 weeks, T-Fury adds more designs to the gallery, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled for return of some of your favorite tees.
Some of your favorite tees. Now, here's what's awesome about T-Fury. I like T-Fury's shirts because they appeal to the things I like. Like T-Fury shirts, they cover all your favorite topics and fandoms. They've got everything from gaming to sci-fi, TV, movies, anime, pop culture, and more. They have a lot of cool mashup T-shirts, which are really neat and fun and popular.
And they change daily. So there's always something new.
They're daily shirts. So if you don't like something
and,
today,
I will say this, as an owner of several, I'm not just shilling for this company. I own several of their T-shirts and wear them on the regular.
I don't own any. They sponsor our podcast, and I feel like I should have a couple shirts. So T-Fury, get on that. I want some.
They just have the sounds of T-shirts. No, but they withstand washing very well, so you don't have to worry about that graphic like peeling away and fading or destroying if you put it through its paces. So wash your shirts, please. You should always wash your shirts.
Always wash your shirts, but don't wash your jeans. Washing your jeans destroys your jeans.
Exactly. It destroys that rich patina that you can get. Anyways. Don't forget about the T-Fury After Hours sale. So say you missed the day's shirt by only a little bit. They keep the sale going to the wee hours of the morning just for you.
Cool.
And in particular...
One more time?
Go on.
One more time, Dan. I want to hear that a little slower so everybody can hear.
And don't forget about the T-Fury After Hours sale. If you missed the day's shirt by only a little... They keep the sale going into the wee hours of the morning.
The wee hours.
Just for you. Sorry, I'm 1/16th Micro Machines guy on my father's side, so I tend to blow through certain things.
Yeah, basically what that is if you miss a shirt... and there's something, if there was a shirt you liked, but you were busy all day and you didn't get home till like say 12, they have you can still buy that shirt for a couple hours.
It ends when you go to sleep.
It ends when you go to sleep. So
check it out.
If you're at work and you're busy working and working, the 9 to 5, then you have your family and you got your kid and you do this thing and you do that thing. By at nighttime you can get the shirt you like. So
be sure to check out tfury.com/nerdist. And see what today's shirt is all about.
Absolutely. tfury.com /Nerdist. And,
yes.
There we go.
So without further ado, today we learn number 25 with Danny Lobell.
Today we learn. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
thought that in the future everything would be kind of Rube Goldberg-ish.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out that way.
I thought everything was going to be either Rube Goldberg device or Willy Wonkian in
or like that
design.
That ashtray that the dad and Gremlins invented that could also double as a shaver.
Yeah.
I remember that? It was like that ashtray or whatever that you could smoke indoors, and it was
Well, they have those now with e-cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just need to make them play MP3s, and I'll be okay with them.
Right.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. That's a fun little conversation. I suppose we should enter.
That's what we call it.
I like how we ended that.
We call that a preamble in the biz.
Some sort of a cold open, I guess.
A prologue.
I mean, it was a fun little conversation.
Let's
welcome to Today We Learn. Today We Learn number 25.
Number 25.
Wowzers.
It's my birthday.
25.
I was born on the 25th.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's good that it's
Congratulations.
appropriate that I'm here on
Happy
this.
That's awesome.
eventual birthday.
I mean, every
quarter
25th is
centennial.
special.
Quarter year,
happy
quarter
1/12 of
centennial.
your birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy.
You made it.
1/12 of your birthday. Right on.
I connect to the numbers, what I'm saying.
This is, as usual, my name is Razzle.
And I'm Dan.
And with us is the very, very funny host of Modern Day Philosophers. It's a wonderful podcast. Quick plug, you should download it and subscribe. Really, really good podcast.
Yeah, finish listening to this one first, then go download it.
Yes, finish listening to this one.
We'll
then
remind
download
you
that
again
one.
at the end.
Yeah,
Or maybe
absolutely.
start the download while you're listening to this.
Yeah, I think that's possible. I can
Play
think
one
you can
over
do
the
that.
other.
Yes.
If you
That's how you
this
find
one
the
up,
secret messages.
If you sync this podcast up with the latest episode of Modern Day Philosophers, you will not be able to understand anything.
Yeah.
It says Paul is dead.
Yeah.
Miss him.
It says
miss him.
Ringo, peace and love, peace and love. Oh, that's a video you guys got to watch. Anyways, with us is the very funny Danny Lobell, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
It's
for
nice
being here.
Well, you're welcome, and
Yeah.
thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Danny. As our listeners know, as usual, we like to start off each episode with either the guest providing a fun fact about themselves or something you happened to learn recently, something fact or tidbit or whatever.
I learned recently that by harnessing the power of my imagination, I can reduce my anxiety attacks.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Sort of like is there anything in particular that you imagine to help with anxiety attacks?
Well, what I figured out is, as a creative person, I'm more imaginative than most people.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured this out because my girlfriend's father is a contractor and artist, and he restores homes. And he restored this one home in Baltimore, and took him a few years and made it into like a living work of art and put it up for sale. And I was in Baltimore, and the real estate broker showing it went to lunch. And I said, "Can I show it while he's out?" And he said, "Yeah, sure, I guess." And people started coming in. And I'd never been a real estate broker before, you know? It's kind of cool to be something for an hour.
Yeah.
So I started showing people the place, and everyone had the same dumb questions. Like, I'd show them the bedroom, they'd be like, "Well, where would we put the TV?" I'm like, "Do you need me to tell you that?
Yeah.
Anywhere. It's an option."
Do you have a dresser?
But then I realized people are not generally that imaginative. Now, if you're listening and you're offended, then maybe you're imaginative, or maybe, this is kind of a rude awakening. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not insulting everybody, but I'm saying generally most people are not as imaginative as artists. I think that's fair, right?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
So
There's the consumers, and then there's the creators.
I couldn't believe these questions people were asking. Where should I put the bed? And then I was like, all right, they want me to spell it out for them. If that's what they need to buy a house,
Yeah.
you would put the bed right over there. And they go, "Oh, of course, that's a great place to put a bed." Idiot. Okay, whatever, fine.
Yeah.
And then I imagine you put the TV over there, and imagine you have 3 kids, and I imagine that you're going to get a dog, a golden retriever, and you're going to put a rug over here, and you're gonna quit working in finances, and you're going to start a blog, and you're going to divorce him, and I'll plan your whole life for you. What do you?
Yeah.
So anyway, what I found out from the fact that so many people had the same questions for me, like, where would I put the couch? And I would tell them, and they'd be like I opened their eyes.
My God.
Wow, he's right. That is where I'd put the couch. That's exactly where I'd put the couch. We need this guy. Well, where will I buy my groceries? Costco. That's exactly where I'd buy them.
So you were life coaching these people.
Yeah.
But I was just imagining for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I realized I have a very strong imagination. It's very powerful. And that's why I have anxiety attacks, because my imagination is so strong that it can trick my intellect.
Yeah.
And my brain can believe I'm dying and send me to the ER many times, which I'm still paying off. And I could think I have diabetes or I'm having a heart attack or any kind of thing, because all I need is one little piece of evidence. I'm fat, and then you're more likely to get diabetes, and that's it. My imagination's like, that's enough to work with. I could take over from here. And the next thing I know, I'm in a hospital bed, and they're like, you don't have it. You just, basically what they're telling me, and not putting it clearly enough until I had to deduce it myself, is you have too strong of an imagination. That's what they're really saying.
Yes.
Settle down, guy.
Stick to thinking about where couches should go.
Yeah.
Right. So my imagination is so strong that it's cost me a lot of money in hospital bills. And it's cost me the fact that I can't drive on the highways because I imagine too strongly that I'm going to try and change lanes, and then somebody's going to crash into me or something. My imagination is doing too much work. So I figured out that the intellect can combat the imagination. And if I'm able to really put my imagination in its place, you kind of have to tame your imagination, especially when it's as strong as mine. So I've been able to control my anxiety attacks better by harnessing the power of my imagination. Like, my imagination starts telling me one thing, and I'm like, quick, all systems, switch over to intellect, And then it's like, imagination, we are on to you.
Yeah.
There is no diabetes
You can't
here.
let it run wild.
Yeah. So that is the key, I think, to controlling my anxiety attacks. It's not, I haven't gotten to the point where I'm strong enough intellectually, because I'm more imaginative than I am intellectual. But as I build my intellect, my imagination, as my intellect gets stronger, my imagination cowers.
Like the Highlander, I will acquire
my final form.
See, I have the problem, like, when I'm driving, my imagination is always how easy it would be for me to just sideswipe a car, or
too strong of an imagination.
Like, people will cut in front of me, and I'm like, man, if I had superpowers, I would be a supervillain, because I would vaporize that person. Like, I would be a. That's my imagination.
Overactive imaginations, and
I just start thinking about what those people are doing, where they could possibly be going, that they had to cut me off.
Yeah. To Costco.
Yeah.
To view a house.
I can't imagine why they would be cutting me off to move their couch faster.
Yeah. You can't imagine.
Yes.
See, that's weird. When I always hear people say, I can't imagine, I think, well, I can.
Well, it's more that I won't imagine.
You won't imagine.
I'll be thinking about something else entirely.
Yeah, you can imagine.
Yeah.
You just choose not to, and that's using your intellect over your imagination.
That's funny.
But some people say, I can't imagine that. I go, well,
people
you
always
don't
like,
have as strong an imagination.
Friends of mine will always be like, man, can you imagine this? And it's just like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, can you
I can imagine anything.
I can imagine anything.
Yeah, I can imagine
obviously.
anything.
But were you considering imagining the following?
And that's why John Lennon's song was so popular. When he was telling people, imagine this, imagine that, they're like, oh, man, I didn't even know I could do that.
Yeah.
But he's an imaginer, because he's a creative person. See, I wouldn't need him to tell me that. I could imagine that with or without John Lennon. I just like it as a song because of the music.
It's like, we get it, John.
Yeah.
Or like
I'm already on
But
it.
he's telling people the same thing I was saying. Put the couch over here.
Yeah.
Or like the Disney, the people who work for Disney are called the Imagineers.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been as good a song. No. You can put the couch over here, or put it anywhere.
I think that was the subtext if you read the liner notes.
Yeah.
Well, I love how, like, even like at IKEA, like IKEA's kind of like for quotation, dumb quotation people of sorts, how they have all the rooms set up to where it's like, oh, you're in college.
Yeah.
Here, you can set it up like this. Just do this. You don't need to worry about decorating or anything like that.
Well, I mean, that's the whole reason any store puts on a display, is because you have to sort of spell it out for some people.
Yeah, like,
some people are visual learners. They have to see it before they can sort of absorb that information.
They're not even visual learners. They're just weak imaginers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're like, here's the room. This is what it would look like. Oh, okay. Give me the whole thing. You ever gone to someone's house and it looks like an IKEA showroom?
Yeah.
That's a scary thing, right?
Most people, especially in their early 20s, when they just move here, it's going to look like an IKEA showroom because that's where you're going to get your furniture.
No imagination.
Here's we're talking about imagination and all that. I'm going to completely derail this talk of imagination to bring this fun fact for everybody. I don't know if you guys drink wine. I don't drink alcohol, as the podcast listeners know, but Dan loves
I do.
alcohol.
I love.
Are you Mormon?
No, I've never had a drop. Just never. It's not my thing.
Do Mormons drink wine?
I think so.
know.
Muslims don't,
Maybe
right?
not. You know what? No, they don't. I don't think Mormons drink wine because I was reading yesterday a Mormon invented grape juice. I think it may have been Welch's grape juice or some form of grape juice was invented because the Mormon wanted a non-alcoholic version of church wine. So maybe they don't, maybe they do.
Mormon.
I'm not sure. But here, a fun fact about wine bottles: the indentation on the bottom of a wine bottle is called a punt. So that little hole on the bottom there, that
Interesting.
little thing is
That
called
little
a punt.
divot.
Yeah, the divot is called the punt.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it
the old
also,
wine punt.
From
Of
what I
course.
understand, too, is I believe that is also there to help chill it. Like when you put it on ice or whatever, you can it chills the bottom
Fun
of it as
fact about wine: if your wine, particularly for people, white wine is usually served chilled. If your bottle is not quite as cold as you'd like it to be, put it in ice and rotate it for about a minute to a minute and a half. And when you take it out, it will be the perfect temperature.
well.
Wow, that is fun.
I learned that during my days as a bar back.
Okay.
I don't know why it works. I'm sure there's science behind it. Maybe it's magic, but
Science is
tiny
magic.
little ice gnome entered the bottle. No,
Through the punt.
But yeah, that's next time you're in a rush and you're trying to cool down some wine so you can grip and sip on some Pinot Gris. There you go.
Yeah, Pinot Gris.
How come a bartender is not called a bar front?
Because they're actually tending to the bar.
They're a bartender.
Yes.
Well, who is the bar front?
The bar front is the bar itself. Those
Yeah.
are the I say
there's
the customers are the bar front.
Yeah. And then the bar back is the one who's usually behind the scenes. And
Right.
the back
Yeah.
of the
That makes
bar,
sense. He's the bar.
dealing with
He's the
everything.
backstage
Yeah,
bar
he's the
guy.
line producer of the bar.
He's the drummer of the bartender.
Yes.
So
the
the
bartender gets all the women and the
Yeah, no, he's the roadie.
Yeah,
of the,
yeah,
the
the bar-
roadie,
the bar
roadie
back
slash
to the-
bass player.
yeah.
There's the one who tends to the bar. There's the behind the scenes of the bar. Are there any other bar titles?
Let me think.
Barkeep?
Bar fly.
There's a bar fly.
Bar fly, a bar keep.
Yeah.
Hey, barkeep, let me get in. But that's
He's
another
a bartender.
bartender.
Send me an
right?
ale. No, I don't think that's
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 it.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
Anything at that point is kind of superfluous. Like some places will have bar side entertainment. There's
Yeah.
bar nuts. I don't know.
I never gave it as much thought as I just did. now.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, while we're on the subject of food, let's talk fast food.
All right. I don't enjoy fast food, but people do.
Me neither.
Yeah,
People enjoy it.
I used to enjoy it quite a bit. Not as much these days. But let's talk in particular. Dave Thomas.
Okay.
You may know him as the founder
The actor.
of Wendy's.
No, I'm thinking of...
Oh, yes, you're thinking it wrong, Dave.
Dave Thomas
Yes.
from Strange Brew.
Yes.
The McKenzie brothers.
I'm sorry to interject. If it's a mafia-run business and it's not actually a bar, that might be a bar front.
There we go.
There we go.
Right?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
a bar front.
It's a bar front. That's
I feel like having it be a bar would be a way better.
It's a
front.
bar laundry.
Yeah.
It's a laundry bar.
All right, sorry. All right.
No.
Just had to point that
So,
out.
like I was saying about Dave Thomas.
Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's.
Interesting. He was one of the early franchisees for KFC, Kentucky
Oh.
Fried Chicken. And he's the guy who helped develop the rotating bucket sign, and he actually at one point became the regional manager for all franchises east of the Mississippi. So that's a
Okay.
pretty big territory. He was like the Gustavo Fring of
Kentucky
East
Fried-
Coast, Mississippi East KFCs.
KFC's formerly Kentucky Fried Chicken. They changed it to KFC.
Yeah, oh my God, all those
in
extra
the
letters.
early-
What are we playing,
what was
Scrabble
it, in
here?
the late 90s, early 2000s when everything was getting shortened for
Yeah.
acronyms and all
Yeah,
that.
got to keep
and
up with the hip digital age.
initialisms.
LOL,
And,
KFC.
And
BRB.
they also changed it to because the people would see fried and it would have a negative connotation.
Oh, yeah.
So they kind of wanted to drop
Yeah,
that. And they
well,
started
that,
to sell
that
it.
F could be for anything.
You
But
know,
I distinctly remember the
You know what?
rotating buckets and my
you know when you're saying the F could be for anything?
Yeah,
People can't imagine that.
I know. They have to imagine that it's fried.
if it doesn't spell it out,
I
that
can't
it's fried.
imagine. I can only assume.
I don't know. I used to know for many years it was fried,
Yeah.
but they got me. They got me
I
now.
really needed those 4 extra letters.
Can't imagine what that's about. Let me just get
Fried.
some chicken, which may or may not be
Yeah.
fried. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and he sold his shares for $1 million, and that's what he used to start Wendy's in
Yeah.
1969.
So if you have $1 million, ladies and gentlemen, sitting around, you can
And
start.
this has to keep
You
in mind
can
this is in
start, fast food
1969 bucks.
Okay.
This is good knowledge. So why? Who was Wendy? Was that his daughter or something?
Wendy.
That was his redheaded daughter or niece, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I believe it was his niece. But I think I remember reading something recently about her. It wasn't technically like the girl wasn't based on her. It was like named after her.
Yeah.
He had no children of his own?
Yeah, he just had buckets.
He had a daughter.
He had a bucket of chicken and a bucket of sadness.
Imagine if you're his daughter and I'm naming it after the niece. I always knew you loved her more than me.
No one's going to go to Agatha's.
Why can't you name it after me, Dad?
Because you have a shitty name. More fun food facts while we're on the topic.
You're
Googling it?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but it looks like it's actually his daughter was actually named Melinda Lou Wendy.
So he did have a daughter.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
Wow, that is offensive.
Yeah. He actually...
That's really offensive.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Melinda
I like
Lou.
my niece better than my daughter.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
I mean, have you met his daughter? Anyway,
food, right?
so speaking of food,
Yeah.
you know when you order a pizza, sometimes it will come with that little picnic table for hamsters in the middle.
Yeah, the little round thing.
Yeah. Do you guys know what that's called?
I don't.
There's a name for it.
I used to
It's
know.
called a pizza saver.
A pizza saver.
I don't know why. It was patented in 1985, though. I don't know why it's called a
To
pizza
keep
saver.
the cheese from hitting the top of the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saves
Gotcha.
the pizza.
So when you would stack all the boxes
Today we
on top
do
of
learn.
each other,
Yeah.
when you stack the boxes on top of each other, it wouldn't.
Okay.
Because you don't want the cheese to stick to the top.
Yeah, it's like when you have a tent or you go to like a big beer tent festival or whatever. There's that one pole in the center keeping the tent up.
I mean, I know about keeping tents up, but actually I don't. I've never been camping.
You've never been camping.
I've never been.
It's very dirty and it's not really fun.
Well, I do enjoy sleeping bags from time to time, so perhaps I'll try it at some point.
So stupid.
What? They're comfortable.
I enjoy sleeping.
I'm not trying to shit on the hobby.
I enjoy being confined and wrapped up into a very small place that if some sort of danger were to occur, it would be hard for me to escape.
Listen, we prefer the we baggers prefer the term swaddled in comfort.
I can't. I'm so claustrophobic.
I feel like I'm like a caterpillar, and that's my chrysalis, and I'm gonna wake up and be a non-sleepy butterfly.
See, if I'm in a sleeping bag, I need the thing to be unzipped because I need that. I can't.
You need to move to room.
I need to move, man. I need to be able to move.
Yeah, it's very claustrophobic to be in a sleeping bag.
I guess it depends on the sleeping bag. Get a nice king-size one, or like staple two together.
Here's something. Yesterday, for those of you listening, was the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah,
today's
Super Bowl.
Today's the
I can't believe that play that happened in that.
I can't
team
believe
that won.
You know what? Hold on. I'm going to try this. Aristotle, how quick are you? I can't believe
the Seattle Seahawks
won the Super Bowl. Now, for those of you listening, I'm going to try and record that the winner on late Sunday night and see if Aristotle can edit it in. So whatever I say, whoever won was edited in late Sunday night by the very awesome Aristotle, who's our recorder producer here. So,
that blimp fire. Oh
how
my
about
God.
that game? How about
How about that halftime show by? I'm sure you could look that bit up.
Red Hot Chili Peppers
and Bruno Mars.
Okay.
It's like that one Simpsons where it aired right after the Super Bowl, and they announced the winner of the Super Bowl, but every time somebody would say the winner of the Super Bowl, they would have like a beer mug in front of them.
Yeah, so you couldn't.
So you couldn't. But anyways, the Super Bowl. Here's a couple facts about the Super Bowl. The game was created as part of a merger agreement between the NFL and its then rival league, the American Football League. It was agreed that the two leagues' champions teams would play in the AFL-NFL World Championship game until the merger was officially to begin in 1970. After the merger, each league was redesignated as a conference, and the game was then played between the conference champions, currently the National Football Conference and the American Football Conference.
So the NFC, the AFC, and
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. The Pittsburgh Steelers in their black and yellow costumes, uniforms. I don't know why I call them costumes.
Hello!
So wait, we've dressed up for the game. They hold the world record
We are the Steelers.
for Super Bowl victories with 6. And you know my favorite part about the Super Bowl? Is America wins every Super Bowl. So suck on that, Sochi.
It's like the
Where are your
World
Olympics
Series.
now?
the World Series.
Yeah.
World Series that only take place in America.
Yeah, the only time other people get to compete in the World Series is in Little League.
Yeah, or if they're like drafted from like
Yes.
the cricket league because they can pitch really fast to play for an American team.
I always thought that was the greatest tell about American culture, that we called the World Series something that only takes place here because we don't care about the rest of the world.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
I mean, we not being me, but I care.
They're okay.
Another fun fact about the Super Bowl, it is the second largest day for United States food consumption after Thanksgiving Day.
Oh.
In
Really?
addition, yeah.
That makes sense.
In addition, the
I
Super
would've
Bowl
thought,
has
like,
frequently
Christmas would have been
the most watched American television broadcast of the year.
But like Christmas, I feel like you have that big family meal, but the Super Bowl, when you compile like people are getting drunk, they're just eating like nachos and wings and just like it's just a snack. It's a snack-a-palooza, and you just I think when you have that sort of sports bar mentality, you're just like fuck,
You know
I'm
what
just
it
gonna go
is?
to town.
I think I figured out another thing about it.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving and Super Bowl, both secular American eating thing.
Yeah.
Christians, Catholics, Christians, right? They're eating on Christmas.
Yeah.
Jews
the
are eating on Passover.
Chinese food.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
the Jews are eating on Passover after like 8 hours of waiting and like
Yeah.
sitting through these seders.
It's a secular to where everybody celebrates.
everybody is okay
Yeah.
to eat them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a good point.
That's probably why. I can't think of another one. Maybe 4th of July?
Yeah, but even that isn't. That's more
That
like a party.
discludes,
That's not like
yeah,
probably,
I think then
like,
you're just like drinking and shooting
the
off
concept
fireworks.
of like
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
there's-
is actually like we're cooking this turkey, we're cooking a
Right.
feast, and Super Bowl is like
Another
just
just sit and eat. Yeah.
It's also cold, so a good way to warm up a little bit is just to pack your body with an insulating layer of Velveeta. Which did you guys hear that there's apparently a Velveeta shortage? That they've been playing this up in the days leading up to the Super Bowl. They apparently no one knows why, but there is a Velveeta shortage, and they did so many investigative news reports about this. One guy was like, I've been to 12 stores, and only one of them has not had Velveeta.
There's a
What
guy-
does this mean? Back to you.
There's a guy named Clive who's based out of Indianapolis.
Uh-huh.
I don't know much more about it than that, but I think he has something to do with it.
Yes, I had a feeling that Clive might be involved in this.
That's
Clive.
all I've got right now.
I saw a couple of his posts on the Velveeta message boards,
Yeah.
and they were pretty inflammatory.
Clive's the same guy who's spreading the sriracha shortage rumor.
I mean, this is inside information.
Well, that one was that one seemed a little more likely because they shut down the primary factory in California because it was sending out all these vapors and
the
chili spices
srirachas.
into the air. Yeah, the sriracha, and it was causing a lot of people to have respiratory issues.
Oh, okay, see, I thought there was just a sriracha shortage because they ran out of green caps.
No, they. We can't get the rooster on the bottle.
Damn green caps!
It's hard to find green cap.
It's so hard to find green cap. That's funny. Here's an interesting fact. Danny, do you have a middle name?
Is that a fact?
No, it's a question.
Oh,
That could lead to a fact. It's about to be a fact.
That's a factual question. I'll look it up on
Is it?
Wikipedia.
It sounded
Danny,
like
do you
a
have middle
question.
name?
Amir.
Amir is your middle name. Dan.
which is an interesting fact.
Amir.
Yeah.
There we go. That's
Because it's an Arabic. I'm a Jew with an Arabic middle name.
okay.
It means my prince in Arabic.
Nice.
Really, Amir, my
Amir.
prince.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a half Jew with a middle name of Martin,
Okay.
which is not Arabic,
Okay.
as far as I know.
Martin.
Martin.
I'm a
Hummus.
no Jew.
I know Jew.
We've gradually ratcheted up.
Sounds very tribal. I'm a no Jew.
I'm a no Jew. It's a sauce you dip in.
Welcome to the no Jews.
You dip roast beef sandwiches in no Jew.
Please make yourself at home in our tribal area. Yeah. I don't even know what they call it. Tribal camp.
I guess that would be no Jew or Oju.
Oh, Jew. My middle name is John. Middle initial J. The president Harry. Here's the fact I was getting at though. The president Harry S. Truman. His middle initial was an S, and believe it or not,
Nice.
it was just an initial.
Yeah, it was. It didn't stand for
Harry S.
Salisbury or Stanford.
Harry S. Truman had no middle name. His parents gave him the S initial just to appease his grandfathers
What
because
a
they wanted a middle
scammer.
name.
Yeah. It's kind of like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer is trying to find his middle name, Homer J. Simpson. It just turns out it's J-A-Y.
Yeah.
Interesting how his last name was Truman.
Yes.
And even his name was false.
Yeah.
There we go.
Harry S. Truman.
More like Harry S. Truly misleading.
Yeah. You have to be very careful.
Can you imagine, back in that day, like if that was a thing now, and that was like if Obama had a initial that was just an initial, everybody would be like, oh, he's got to,
Yeah.
Like nowadays,
Show us the name certificate.
Yeah, nowadays a president, they need to be good looking, they need to, be well spoken, and they need to have
and they need to be able to be played on SNL or Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Truman's name, a lie. It's a good headline. Right?
I'll tell you what, Key and Peele is a awesome show.
It is a fantastic show. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it.
Or
it's a
opinion?
fact.
That is a fact. And in particular,
I agree
Super
with
Bowl
it.
Sunday just happened, and I can't believe that team won
Yeah,
and by that margin. But they have such funny sketches about the East-West, like, NCAA bowls.
Yeah.
And it's just, they have that... it's like the talking head of the football player saying their name and then saying their college. And it comes from... the fact that there's so many ridiculous names in the NFL, the one that they use, and this is an actual player, DeBrickashaw Ferguson. DeBrickashaw.
It's so funny. Watch this skit.
Great player, but...
I love their black ice, white snow routine. That was great.
Watch, seriously, like, after this podcast, go on YouTube and look up Key and Peele football player names, look up the valet attendants.
Wait a minute. Would they do that before or after downloading Modern Day Philosophers or during?
After, while they're downloading Modern Day Philosophers. After you listen to Modern Day Philosophers, watch Key and Peele.
What if you download Modern Day Philosophers, listen to this show and Key and Peele at the same time?
And I think that's how you'll find where the Holy Grail is buried.
There was a funny Key and Peele sketch about vampires, and Key, I believe, was the vampire, and he was head of the coven. And everybody's in like all like black leather and latex, and all the vampires are like making out with each other and all that. And then Peele was a newly turned. He just got bitten, and he's all like thugged out, like he looks like a rapper and everything. And he's just looking at these vampires just be the stereotypical vampires all over each other, and he's like, "Yo, I'm not doing any of that." And he's like,
"Why are you snarling at each other?"
He's like, "I'll be honest, I just let myself get bitten so I could live forever and see flying cars." So funny. Anyways, we were talking about Harry S. Truman.
Yeah,
he was president.
Killer press.
He was
great guy.
He was president of the United States, the government here.
And by the way, if you say his first name with his fake middle initial together, it sounds like a female name.
Harriet.
No, Harrius.
Harrius.
Oh, how's Harrius doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Harrius. This season on Game of Thrones.
Harrius.
Of House Truman.
NASA has a. This is interesting. I haven't had a chance to look this up, but
if you get some free time, check out.
If you're listening to this in the day, look this up tonight, and it's a website.
Wait
I'm going to give you.
Should they look this up before or after watching Key and Peele?
Everything
and
we say after this
podcast
comes after the last thing we told you to do.
You're giving them a lot to do.
We're giving them a cue.
Yeah.
Listen, they got a lot of free time. I don't know what these guys are doing. I don't even know if they're wearing pants.
First off, put some pants on. Don't you hate pants?
There's got to be a better way.
Anyways, NASA. This is a really cool thing. I'm going to look this up because this space fascinates me, as everybody knows on this podcast. I'm not very smart, but I like cool things, and space is one of those very cool things. NASA has a Spot the Station website that tells you exactly when the International Space Station will be visible above where you live.
So if you have access to a telescope or there's an observatory nearby, like in Los Angeles, you can head to Griffith Observatory in Griffith Park. It's a cool thing to do.
Or even if you can spot the space station.
Oh, it's visible to the naked eye?
It's visible with the naked eye because it's like a bright reflection, and you can see it. It's
cool.
That's how starved people are for entertainment.
Yeah.
Listen, the space is amazing.
I'd love to be able to see something that you can barely make out what it is, but
human beings.
If only my eyes had DVR.
Human beings created and invented and built the thing that's that fucking far up in space.
Yeah.
But it's just like a floating refrigerator, right? Like you just like, let me see when the floating refrigerator is going to float by.
That holds people
and
does things.
Oh, there it is. I guess that was worth waiting months for.
Anyways,
that's why you go to the website and find out.
Well, only 2 more days till the flying refrigerator goes by.
Yeah. The website Spot the Station.
Not everyone has access to Netflix.
Here's the thing I just read overseas. Netflix got overseas, and within like a day, their competition shut down.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know how that works.
What was their competition? Just like just one guy with
He was
just a few shows.
He was just riding around on a hang glider throwing DVDs to people.
DVDs at people. The website is spotthestation.nasa.gov.
Nice.
Spot the station.
Sounds like a carnival game.
.gov, yeah.
Oh man, I was in the shitter and I missed it.
Well, better go to the website and find out when you shouldn't be taking a poop next.
Mental note: do not go poop on February 3rd.
While we are on the subject of Europe,
Absolutely.
let me make this little segue real quick.
Absolutely.
British actor Christopher Lee, certified badass. In case you don't know, here's a fun fact about. When he was filming Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, there was a scene that's only in the extended edition. Christopher Lee played Saruman, evil white wizard. He gets stabbed in the back by Brad Dourif's Grima Wormtongue, and he was supposed to. Peter Jackson, the director, wanted to have him let out a scream. Now, Christopher Lee corrected Jackson because if you were to get stabbed in the back of the chest, you don't scream because the air gets pushed out of your lungs, so people will groan with just an exhalation of air very quietly because their lungs have been punctured. They're incapable of screaming because they don't have the air to do so.
At which point Peter Jackson smacked him in his face and said, just do the fucking line.
Yeah, no, I don't think you would want to smack Christopher Lee because he knew about this because he was a member of the SAS, part of the British Royal Air Force Intelligence Services. Yeah. So he was like Black Ops British Royal Air Force elite soldier. He served in Finland prior to World War II in the Winter War, North Africa during World War II. He saw some of the concentration camps up close, and then he spent the post-World War II era hunting down Nazi war criminals.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, in case that wasn't enough to make you think, holy fuck, this guy rules, he's put out in the last 3 or 4 years 2 different heavy metal albums, symphonic metal albums, about the life and times of Charlemagne. Wow. So he's 91 years old and rocks harder than most people.
That's awesome.
So
Right. He's a Nazi hunter. You can't knock
Christopher
that.
Lee, Nazi hunter, metal god, wizard.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a resume.
I know.
Evil Middle Earth overlord.
It says on your resume here, for a few years you were working as a Nazi hunter. How was that?
Yeah.
I was wondering, is there anyone who could provide a recommendation about that job?
Nazi. I feel like if you put Nazi hunter on your resume, you should just get hired regardless.
Yeah.
I hunted and killed Nazis.
I'm sorry, this company is mostly Nazis. It would make some of us uncomfortable. They're not so good.
You see, when I was in the Air Force, we learned that if you're stabbed in the back, you wouldn't scream. You'd groan. All right, so change it to groan. Come on, we're on a time
listen,
thing here. All right, let's go.
This conversation just cost us $10,000.
I was a Nazi hunter for so. Okay, all right. It's groan. Just fucking groan. I could scream. It might be better for the scene if I scream. Either way, we got to get through this.
We got to get this. We got.
I just
Where's
don't want.
Frodo? We got 2 more shots.
People are already suspending their disbelief. I don't want to push it.
I could just see him like rattling off his whole thing. Then I was a Nazi hunter for some reason.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
Spent time in Finland.
I feel like wizards should scream.
Okay, now you're an actor, all right?
Yeah.
You scream, you groan, you get through the part. Let's move on.
But, how embarrassing is that on the IMDb Goofs page? Saruman screams in this scene when, in fact, a real human would not.
Some nerd would do that.
Yeah.
I used to stab Nazis in the back, and they would groan. They wouldn't scream.
Speaking of like murdering and stabbing people and all that.
Go on.
Here's a fun fact I found on Mental Floss. I haven't had a chance to research this completely, so I don't know how 100% true it is, but it sounds very possibly true.
Yeah, I would believe this.
Supposedly, a gun with a silencer attached sounds as loud as a car door being slammed. It's much quieter than the actual gunshot, the bang you're used to, but it's not as subtle as like the whoosh. And like in action films, you always think of silencers as being like pew, pew, or like Dan did it even better, pew, like that.
That's good, Dan.
And
thank you.
It's actually supposedly
Sounded like a car door.
Slam.
Slam. Supposedly like
your Prius is still open.
Yeah. Silencers on guns actually are way more audible than movies are led to believe.
I can't believe Hollywood would mislead us.
Yeah, I feel so completely, just first hearing about Harry S. Truman and the fake S, and now I'm been lied to in the movies with the silencers. it's just a show of deceit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be you. This show should be called "You've Been Lied to."
The world sucks. You were
Harsh truths.
Unmasking the truth. Yeah, harsh truths. Our spinoff. We tend to have a lot of spinoff podcasts. That's the one coming up where we ruin everybody's childhood.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if people took this real seriously in Hollywood and they're like, well, I guess from now on, whenever we use the silencer, just someone slam their car door.
It's like reusing that.
We'll use that
instead
sound.
of reusing the Wilhelm scream. They just use a car door slam.
Well, what was wrong there? Oh, sorry, the seatbelt was stuck in the door. We'll need to take it again.
How much do you think Wilhelm got paid for that scream? That's something we got to look up another time.
$3.
$3.
For those of you who aren't familiar with the term Wilhelm scream, it's more than just a indie emo band or whatever from the
oh God,
early 2000s.
I've not listened to them in a minute.
The Wilhelm scream is supposedly when you're in the most amount of pain and fearing for your life. It's the type of scream you let out that shows you're in that much pain and agony. And years ago,
it's also the name of a very particular and iconic sound effect that's used in many movies.
In many movies years ago.
Like Star Wars is where I associate it with most. But just just watch movies and you'll hear this scream repeatedly.
After the list of things we've given you to do, research the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah,
right.
And then make one of your own. Put yourself through the most physical pain possible.
It's a sound effect that is reused. It's the same sound effect reused over and over in movies. And I believe it comes from the gentleman who recorded it was Wilhelm, I believe. And from what I remember,
the Kaiser Wilhelm.
Yeah, and it was a scream,
Yeah.
and they use it for anytime someone's falling down a cliff in a movie or whatever. Chances are the sound
I think in particular it happens when one of the stormtroopers falls into the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi.
Play the scream while downloading modern-day Philosophers, watching Key and Peele, watching a floating refrigerator go by.
And regretting that you took a shit. So that's it's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
Man, that's going to keep you busy all
I know.
week.
Well, I think that's a pretty good to-do list, and I think we are unfortunately approaching our time limit.
Here, yeah.
I know.
That's it, you know.
But thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Things need to end. Also, if you're,
all things must pass.
I believe. When do the Winter Olympics start? Are they starting
Winter
now?
Olympics start. I think the week of the 14th.
Okay, so
we pretend we saw those too.
Yeah. Oh my God, that biathlon and Jamaica's bobsled team finally back. First time since 2003.
People can't believe Jamaica's got a bobsled.
I know. You did, man.
Somebody should make a movie about that.
It seems kind of hacky. Also, who would play the coach? A dead guy?
Yeah. So, man, I miss John Candy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well,
that's
on a brighter note. Where can our listeners find you on the internet?
Yeah, sell yourself. Whatever you got.
I walk around the internet from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. every morning.
Good neuromancer.
I have a website. It's DannyLobell.com. I have a Twitter. It's @DannyLobell. I have a podcast. It's Modern Day Philosophers on iTunes and SoundCloud. That's enough places to find me, I think.
Absolutely.
If they go to one of those places, I'm sure they could find the subsequent places.
Yeah. You could just type Danny Lobell into Google, and that'll give you a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meet Danny Lobell's in your area.
Meet other.
You can watch as I float by.
Meet other Danny Lobell.
Go to spotthelobell.nasa.gov.
I'll be floating over your house.
That's funny. As usual, you can follow us on Twitter at TWL Podcast. You can send us an email at twlpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at my name is Razzle and the number 2.
And you can find me on Twitter at OsteoFerocious.
Absolutely.
And
feel free, once again, we appreciate you guys listening. Last week, or well, technically 2 weeks ago, with everybody's help, we reached number 134 out of the top 300 comedy podcasts
All right.
on iTunes. And we want to thank all you listeners for that. And if you guys can continue giving us good reviews, give us a bunch of 5-star reviews if you haven't yet. Write us a comment on iTunes and help us try and stay up there, because we reached 134, and then the next Tuesday we swiftly dropped off.
Don't give a 4-star review. That's the worst.
Yeah,
it's
right?
like, what? I'm that close that you can't give it.
Then last week the episode with Ryan Sickler, we reached I think it was like 219 or something like that. So we really appreciate your support. It was really cool to see us up there.
Thank you for listening and learning with us.
And tell your friends, and if you can, share this. Tell 3 of your Twitter friends to subscribe, and give us good reviews.
I also wanted to plug my album.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Some Kind of Comedian on iTunes and standupcrap.com you can pick it up at.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Some Kind of Comedian?
Some Kind of Comedian.
Fantastic. Go at the end of your to-do list, purchase that album.
Right after... What was the last
It'll be a
thing we
good
gave
way to
him?
make yourself feel better after screaming from intense pain or shitting.
After,
I can't remember where we were on that
Or if you're
list.
stabbing a Nazi in the back.
Yeah. Once you've hunted down the last Nazi, buy the album.
And the wizard shows up to... Oh, hello! Don, what's his name? Gandalf?
Saruman?
I forgot.
Saruman.
Gandalf?
Yeah.
Bilbo.
I don't remember.
Gandalf. Luke.
Don't stab me in the back. All right.
Lobell Backens.
Awesome. Yeah, so review, share, tell your
Thanks
friends
for
to subscribe,
listening.
and
A few
thanks for
times
listening.
he just stabbed him in the back. He's like, you were supposed to scream. I can't scream right now. I can only gasp.
I was letting out a soft groan.
I'll
Did
take
you
a
not hear
note
me?
of that.
And,
Anyway,
cool. Thanks for listening.
guys. See you
And
next week. And as always, Merry Black History Month.
Merry Black History Month.
Thank you. I take that as a huge
Now leaving
compliment.
Nerdist.com.